everybody. I have been on the road 4 years as of today. I can't believe I've lived in Fancy Free that long. I'll share my story with you today. You also get to meet this little guy. His name is Bandit, and I'll tell you his story and how I came to find him. Thank you for celebrating this special day with us. I just love this little guy. It's his 4th birthday and I have been in Fancy Free for 4 years now. Can you believe that? It has just been an amazing journey. I have almost 300 new subscribers just in the last 3 weeks, so I am going to share a little bit of my story, but if you want details on it, please be sure to look up the videos, and I'll put some of those links in the video description, in this video description. So I'll tell you about how Bandit got his name and where he came from and how I found him in a little bit. But first, let me catch you up a little bit on my story, and I'll just do try to do a brief synopsis. It's so hard because I'm so excited because today is such a big day. But let's see. Okay, so I'll just start with the cruel thing that happened is the last neurosurgeon I saw. He looked at me and my trustee, and he leaned over and he looked into her eyes and he kind of scowled. And he said, "She might see 2016, but she'll never know it." And he was wrong. I'm grateful he was wrong, and he was not a nice person, and I wish him well, but I'm so grateful that he was wrong, and I'm so grateful that my trustee Leslie didn't listen to him, and that she told me, I'm trying to block that sun for you guys, hitting the mirror. We had to come in because the sun's so bright and he was getting too hot, so that's why we're filming inside. I'd hoped to film my 4-year Vanniversary outside, but I guess it's fitting that I'm inside with Fancy Free and with Bandit, right? Anyway, I appreciate Leslie. She took me to lunch and she said if there ever was a time to do a bucket list, that time is now. And I had been living in a tent with my 2 fur babies, my senior dogs, Nani and Bentley. If you haven't met them, please go watch their tribute. I will have that link in the video description as well. They were awesome, amazing dogs. And I lost them in 2017, and I'm just now ready to be able to have another dog, and I'm so grateful for Bandit. So that's how this began. I was living in a tent. I was living in a tent in August and September in Texas, and it was miserable. And I had tried living with family and friends, and it just wasn't working because it kept triggering TBI episodes. And at the end of this video, I will share with you a few-second clip that tells you why this van life is so good for me and my traumatic brain injury. And I'll also just share that I know people say you don't look like you have a brain injury, but I share pretty often on this channel, or as often as I can, when I have an episode, what that looks like. Because with every brain injury is different, but once I start getting episodic, I can literally go profoundly dumb. I mean, like the lights aren't on and nobody's home in like 0.9 seconds. So it's crazy. And I live a life that keeps those symptoms at bay as best I can. And I share about that on my channel. But I can't do math and I can't read, and I'll share more about that in a minute. But anyway, back to how I got on the road. So we began looking for a van, and I thought I'd found one, and I went to the dealership to pick it up. In fact, my friend Connie had put me and the dogs in a hotel out of the tent for a couple of days so we could prepare to move into the van, and I was so happy, and I went to pick it up, and the dealership said, "Oh, we thought you still made big bucks in your career. We didn't realize you're now on disability." Even though I'd put that on the paperwork, I was 100% honest, and so that was so disheartening. And I'd been honest about how my brain surgery and losing everything had affected my finances, and anyway, I didn't get that van. And Leslie and I had looked at a couple of TBI rehab or assisted living places, maybe even 3. So I went back to the hotel, and it was over for me. I was going to assisted living, and so I texted my tribe, and I said, I don't want any phone calls, please. I want to spend this weekend with my dogs in the hotel. I'll be having to place them in a home or something next week, because you can't have dogs in assisted living, right? So anyway, all this drama, but it was true. I was just heartbroken. And so I wanted that weekend alone with my dogs and holed up in that hotel room before I had to go to assisted living. Well, my friend Glenn wasn't having any part of it. He called, he texted, he called. He ended up calling the hotel room, and finally I answered, and I'm like, I really don't want to talk to anybody. I'll be all right. I just want some time alone. And he basically was like, oh, heck no. It used a little bit stronger language than that. He's like, you always say, keep on keeping on. There's always something to be grateful for. Life is good no matter what. He said, do you believe in all that stuff you preach or not? And he's like, get up, dust yourself off. I found you 3 vans to go look at. Call these numbers, make an appointment, go look at those vans tomorrow and buy you a van. I'm like, I can't get financing. And he goes, you don't need to get financing. Buy an old clunker and get on the road and let's get on with this. And I thought, how do I get on the road with an old clunker? And anyway, I just took a step forward in faith, and I went and found Fancy Free. She was one of the 3, and she was not a clunker. She had been fleet maintained. The guy just had bought it for a friend from the company he worked for, and the friend wasn't able to pay him, and so he was putting it back on the market. And I have been blessed ever since. And now you get to see the tour of what she looks like tomorrow. And I'm looking at my van right now, and I just want to cry. She's so pretty. It's the 5th version of this van remodel, and it took me a while to get it right. And I've had so many family and friends and people that helped me along the way, and people that had a part in this van build as well as the previous ones that got me here to this day. I wake up every morning and I can't believe this is my home. And guys, I used to be married to a wealthy attorney. I have to stop, and it just seems like so surreal and almost like it wasn't real. But we used to have a home in Aruba. We had a home in Palm Springs. We had our ranch in the hill country of Texas. We had a high-rise condo in Turtle Creek in Dallas. Anyway, we just, I lived the life of luxury. I flew on Falcons and private jets, and I've never been more happy and blessed than I am when I wake up in this van, and it works for my brain injury. Look at him, he's sound asleep. It works for my brain injury. I know where everything is. Everything is compact. I can take care of this. I can't take care of a home anymore. I can't do math anymore, and I used to teach science. I can't read. I can write, but I can't read. The brain is such an amazing organ. But anyway, I just am very blessed with this van build. So when I first moved into it, I bought it on September 28th, 2015, and I named her, and I moved into Fancy Free and hit the road on October 8th, 2015, 4 years ago today. I was on the floor with a sleeping bag and my tent air blow up little thin mattress from REI, and some duffel bags. And my friend Glenn, he was going out of town. He plays professional music, and he was traveling at the time with the Glenn Miller Band and was going to Australia. And he told me, I'm hooking you up with a friend of mine. Go straight to him. Don't pass go. Don't stop. And hang with him for as long as you can. And it was Bob Wells. I didn't know Bob at the time. I bought his book while I was en route to him from Texas to Arizona. And I ended up camping with him for the first 6 or 7 months of my time out here on the road, and we became good friends. And I have interviewed him, and we've talked about it, and I'll put that video link in the video description here as well, so you can see that. And through him, I got to meet my bestie Kendall Diamond and Jamie Diamond of Enigmatic Nomadics. I just got to meet some wonderful people along the way, Linda May, Levon. The list just goes on. And today, 4 years later, I am blessed to call most of those people, or not most, but most of them, I mean, all are friends. And a lot of them are chosen family members, and I am so blessed because I lost a lot of family. When I lost my huge career and big money, I lost family and friends. When I went on disability, I lost more family and friends. And then when I moved into a van, I have family that doesn't even talk to me anymore. And it still hurts, but my life is so rich and I live life so large now. It doesn't matter. It's their loss. And I am happy, I am blessed, I am grateful. And so I got on the road and I hooked up with Bob Wells and went to my first RTR with him, camped with him for the pre-RTR, and then was camped with him for some of the RTR, and then kind of struck out on my own and camped with other friends for a while. And then that summer RTR is where I met Robert, and then I've just had an amazing journey, and I can't wait to share what Fancy Free looks like with you tomorrow. And I'm not even sure what I want to say today. I'm so blessed, and I keep saying that over and over, but from somebody that was in a hotel room and giving up, and I didn't know what I was going to do, honestly, when I had to give my dogs up, when I thought I was going to have to. They were my life. They were certified therapy dogs and went through TBI rehab with me, and they'd been on this whole journey with me, and I didn't know what I was going to do if I gave them up. And I didn't know if I was going to make it out of that hotel room. That's the bottom line. And then here I am today, and look at this life I have and the places I get to go see, and I get to connect with more and more people all the time. And so that's my life in the van in a nutshell. If you have questions, and also this is being aired as a premiere, and so people are asking questions, and I'm answering them, typing while we're watching this movie premiere together. And so be sure and check out those comments, and because there's going to be a lot of answers in there. But if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below and I will answer it. Next, I'm going to introduce you to Bandit and tell you how he got his name and how I found him. And I've already shared, after I do that, I'm going to share with you a video that I've already shared with patrons. And I have a Patreon account because I cannot do newsletters and blogs and email and social media and YouTube and write and all that anymore. So all I do is YouTube, Patreon, and write. I do post photos through software on Instagram, and I guess that navigates over to Facebook somehow, but I don't log on to social media. All I do is YouTube, Patreon, and write. And so if you want to keep up with me and get up to date posts and pictures and stuff in real time, you sign up for $1 a month. That's it. I just needed one spot to communicate with everybody, and that's where it is. So sign up there for $1 a month. And they've already met Bandit, and they've already seen the video that you're going to see here in a little bit. But he is 4 years old. They think he's a Chihuahua, long-haired Chihuahua mix, but they don't know. His backside is just curly, 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 like real thick black curly hair. It cracks me up. And he's got this long, beautiful, fluffy tail, and he's just adorable. And he's like this most of the time. He has two issues I'll tell you about. But first I'll tell you, I was looking in 4 states for a dog. After I lost Nani and Bentley, it took me a couple of years before I was ready to have another dog. As you know, we rescued KOKO Jack in Arkansas and took him all the way to Florida to his forever home. And he lives on a golf course and has play dates and birthday parties and more friends than he can count. And he's in heaven. And with my cognitive decline, I didn't think I was going to get to have a dog. I didn't think I could have another one. But I've been given a miracle medicine, and its name is Aricept. Lori McKenzie, primary care in Gillette, put me on Aricept, and it is just, like I said, a miracle drug. It's given me my life back. When Robert and I broke up, I thought I was going to have to get off the road, but my trustee and I, David, who's my second trustee. Leslie wanted to remain my trustee, but her life is so busy. I told her, let me get another trustee, and David stepped up, and I'm forever grateful for that. But I talked to him, and we decided that with the Aricept, I can stay on the road, and I'm doing better than I have, I think, since my brain surgery. Still can't do math. I still can't do more than a 3 count. I can't read like books or anything, you know, anything longer than 3 paragraphs, and I'm pretty much lost. But I'm doing good, and I rarely stutter anymore. My eye droops rarely. I don't sit and stare at blank walls anymore. I'm able to, as long as I live in my van and take care of my environment, I'm able to keep doing this deal. And I forgot where I was. Oh, I'm ready to get a dog. And I can take care of him now thanks to the Aricept. That's where I was. And so I was looking in 4 states: Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico, on petfinder.com and on adoptapet.com. And I had just crossed into New Mexico from Colorado. I was headed to see my friend Linda, and his little picture popped up, and I knew that he was the one. And I looked at where he was, and this little guy was in Nogales, Arizona, at the border of Mexico and the United States, and I'm at the border of Colorado and New Mexico. I had 2 states I had to travel through to get him. I ended up calling, and they let me put a deposit on him, and I told him that I'd get there as soon as I could. And my friend Tiki lived about an hour away from that shelter, and so she let me stay with her, and we went and picked him up, and that's the video you're going to see. But let me tell you a little bit about his story. He's just sound asleep. Let me shift him because he's trying to sleep and he's sliding down. There you go. There, that's better. Anyway, so he is from Mexico, and the story, as I understand it, is they found him on the streets of Mexico, and someone, breaks my heart, someone had done a DIY home neuter job on him. When they found him, he still had, quote-unquote, horrible stitches. He still has a few stitches. I'm taking him to a vet next week that I trust and getting him checked out. Going to have that looked into, as well as a lump that he has on his belly that's hard and that shouldn't be there. And, you know, just a general checkup. But he was in that Mexico shelter for 5 weeks because they waited to see if anybody came to claim him, and they didn't. And they don't adopt there. They just euthanize. But when they have an adoptable dog, I have a hair in my face. But when they have an adoptable dog, they have worked something out with the Nogales, Arizona Humane Society, and their link is in the video description. Send them some great love. They are doing wonderful things. They are in a 100-year-old building and have a building fund going on right now, but just wonderful, wonderful people doing amazing things. So, he got to go there, and I saw him online 48 hours after his picture was posted. If you are interested in a dog that you see online, you better act quick because they don't last long. So anyway, I got him, and I'm so grateful, and he's such a love bug. The 2 issues he has. Oh man, I've always been able to train my dogs with verbal commands and hand commands, and he's learning. He's already he knows sit, let's go, hop. He's learning all kinds of commands. Wait, heel. He's just, I'm teaching them all to him, and he's doing really well. He's got a little bit of a stubborn streak in him, and I can work with that. He protects his food like his life depends on it, and you can understand probably because of where he came from, why. But I'm working with him on that. I take his food away from him when he doesn't want me to, and he's getting better, but he's got a long way to go on that. But the biggest thing is he's dog aggressive. And I have so many wonderful family and friends that have dogs, and so we're working through that. I'm watching tons of training videos so that I can help him. We will get through it. I don't want him to be so fearful and miserable his whole life. I want him to be able to have play friends, and he's going to be just fine. I'm going to make sure of it. And like I said, I've trained probably 50 dogs in my life and just never dealt with the aggression, and we'll work through it together and I'll figure it out. So that's our stories. My 4-year anniversary, his 4th birthday. He actually, his paperwork, they had his birthday as September 13th, the day they got him from Mexico to the Humane Society, and I just bumped it up to October 8th so we could celebrate together. I think that's pretty awesome, and that's close enough to me. That's less than a month off from what they had guessed at, and I thought it was awesome that he's 4 years old. So happy 4th us everything, and thank you for being on this journey with us. I think this year is going to be the best one yet. I am so looking forward to it. Be sure and stay tuned, please, for the 2 clips that I want to share with you. One when I went and picked him up, and then the one of why van life works for my brain injury so well. I get to go meet Prince Charming today, and Tiki's going to go with me because she wants to supervise.
Come on, Debra, let's go!
Yes, everybody, I'm getting a puppy.
Oh.
Hi. How are you? Hi, sweetheart. You're a little scared, aren't you? It's okay. It's okay. Hi. You don't know what to do out here, do you? Oh, little sweetheart. So perfect. Oh, so perfect. Hi, baby. He's nervous. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Debra. I say, wait, I'm supposed to be over here with her. So, oh, you should. He's perfect. And look at that road. He's such a sweetheart. He couldn't be more perfect. I'm in love with him already, and so is Tiki. And what's not to love? He's just a love bug, and he's just perfect. Say hi. Hi, everybody. Oh, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. Him's getting his first bath. He didn't like it at first. And we just got back from a walk, and the blowing grass and the blowing limbs scared him. And he saw a barrel cactus for the first time, and he went a mile around it and was scared of it. So this is all probably very new for him, and he's doing so good, aren't you, Bandit? Huh? Good stuff. Is that good stuff? Everybody was hungry. Bandit was hungry. We'll see you down the road. Bye, everybody.
Yay!